For our last top 5, the Grand Line Review took you through the 5 worst devil fruits. This time, we're taking a complete 180 turn to land at the cream of the crop of the devil fruit world. The criteria used to determine these are the same as for the worst list. 1. They need to be canon. 2. They can't be artificial. And 3. They will be analysed by the effect they have on an everyday person. And with that out of the way, let's begin. Welcome to the Grand Line Review's Top 5 Best Devil Fruits. Number 5. Starting out this list, we have the Ope Ope no Mi. Now, this fruit is quite complicated and confusing to explain, but essentially it allows the user to conjure a spherical room. While in this room, the user has complete control over the orientation and placement of all objects within, including people, including everything actually. Not a single atom is safe in this room. Body parts and internal organs can be removed and replaced with others or objects with great ease. It should be noted that no matter how extreme the surgery, this generally does not injure or kill the victim of the fruit's power. Although the user of the fruit, Trafalgar Law, has proved that he can physically injure targets inside the room, mainly by using spatial energy to create high voltage shocks able to bypass skin and bone to directly damage internal organs. This probably isn't even the limit of the fruit's potential to deal damage either. But the Ope Ope no Mi is extremely versatile. While in the room, the user of the fruit also has the ability to control themselves, in effect allowing them to teleport with whatever person or object they desire. And bizarrely, this fruit also allows the user to switch people's minds and bodies so long as they are inside the room. This was used to great hilarity to switch some of the Straw Hats' bodies on Punk Hazard. The obvious weakness of this fruit is that it's restricted to the range of the room. Law has shown that he can greatly increase the size of the room, but doing so rapidly depletes the user's stamina, and overuse of the fruit will even shorten the user's lifespan. So this fruit is cool, it's really cool, but at this stage it's not all that great. It gives you an amazing ability, but at a very high cost. The reason why this fruit is on the list and the reason why people are willing to pay 5 billion berries for it is because of its ultimate ability. The Ope Ope no Mi allows the user to perform the immortality operation, a procedure that can make another person immortal, or I guess more accurately perpetually youthful. However, this costs the life of the user performing the operation. So in conclusion, super powerful fruit that has potentially great benefits for another person. Not so great for the user itself, and that's why the Ope Ope no Mi will have to settle for number 5. Number 4. Marco's Unnamed Devil Fruit. The only Zoan-type fruit on this list allows the user to become a blue phoenix. Its specific subclass is a mythical Zoan type, an extraordinarily rare subclass, rarer than Logia's actually. And for good reason. The main power bestowed by this fruit are the blue flames themselves. While in phoenix form, the user is practically invincible as the flames are able to regenerate any damage inflicted on the user. Unlike other Zoans, it appears the user can control to what degree his or her body is affected by the phoenix form as well, allowing for much greater versatility and use. So in reality, this fruit is kind of a mix of all 3 of the basic classes. It allows the user to turn into an animal as per the Zoan class, the additional physical abilities granted mimic that of a paramecia, and the regenerative abilities granted by the blue phoenix fire are very similar to that of a Logia fruit. Finally, something very basic but very powerful. This fruit is one of only 5 devil fruits said to grant the ability of flight. Now this number gets called into question quite a bit because we've definitely seen more than 5 devil fruits used for flight. But hey, it's still a rare ability and one that contradicts the main drawback of devil fruits, which is not being able to swim. So with all of that in mind, Marco's Unnamed Phoenix Fruit definitely deserves the number 4 spot on this list. Number 3. Gura Gura no Mi, also known as the fruit with the power to destroy the world. This exceptional fruit is considered to be the strongest in the Paramecia class, allowing its user to create extraordinarily powerful shockwaves and vibrations through any medium, resulting in the ability to conjure natural disasters, such as earthquakes and tsunamis. The user has the ability to control both the magnitude and point of impact of the shockwaves, allowing for incredibly devastating targeted attacking. The Gura Gura no Mi has no apparent weakness in regards to the effect on the user. From what we've seen, it took no physical or mental toll on Whitebeard or Blackbeard after invoking its power. However, it does come with one major drawback, that being the indiscriminate nature of creating natural disasters. I said before that the user was able to control the point of impact, however beyond that the user is powerless to isolate the attack further. This makes it very easy for collateral damage to occur, making it as much of a danger for friends as for foes. In the right hands, there can be a lot of unintentional victims, and in the wrong hands, well, there goes the world. Now, a lot of you were probably expecting this to be at the top of the list. I guess it is considered to be the strongest fruit in the Paramecia class, and it does have the power to literally destroy the world, but does that really make it the best devil fruit? I don't think so. So Goro no Mi, you'll have to settle for third place for now. Number 2. The Soros Origami, also known as the Soul Fruit. This terrifying fruit gives the user the ability to interact with and manipulate souls. With this maddening power, the user can entirely extract a person's soul, killing them instantly if desired. Alternatively, the user of the fruit can choose how much of the soul to extract, resulting in the loss of a certain amount of years of life for the victim. After an extraction is conducted, the user can put these souls or soul fragments into objects or animals. They seem to inherit the intelligence of the person whose soul was extracted, and previously inanimate objects just gain a completely new life of their own. The fruit's user can also manifest parts of their own soul that are also capable of extracting other people's souls. So I guess you could say this fruit has the ability to manipulate life, being able to give and take it freely. Pretty godlike stuff. However, this fruit does have one weakness. It only works on those afraid of death. An extraction cannot be performed on somebody who isn't afraid of dying, and honestly that drawback is all that keeps it from reaching the number 1 spot. Otherwise, this fruit is completely hacked. In something like 99% of encounters, the option to simply kill your opponent is right in front of you, no combat necessary. You can then use their soul to create more strong allies for yourself. It's ridiculous. But like I said, the fact that there is a situation in which it is completely powerless is why it lands at a modest number 2 spot. Before we get to number 1, here are some honorable mentions that didn't quite make the cut. Blackbeard's Yummy Yummy no Mi, a Logia type that gives the user the ability to become darkness. It's unique even amongst Logia fruits and has the ability to cancel out other devil fruit powers, which is great, but the everyday person won't have so much use for combating other devil fruits. In addition, unlike other Logias, the user can still take physical damage. So I don't know, it's pretty amazing, but I simply can't call it one of the best in the presence of these other fruits. Aruja's Unnamed Devil Fruit gives the user the ability to convert damage taken into raw power. We don't know much else about it yet, but it sounds ridiculously dangerous, and using this he was even able to beat one of Big Mom's sweet commanders. Sengoku's Big Buddha Fruit is another example of a mythical Zoan type that we've seen in the series. It allows him to transform into a giant golden Buddha and create powerful shockwaves. Pretty damn amazing, but just not good enough, I'm afraid. So let's finally move on to number 1. The Goro no Mi. What's that? NL is incredibly weak? Yeah, you're right, but his fruit certainly isn't. The Goro no Mi is the only Logia fruit type on this list, and it allows the user to conjure, manipulate, and become lightning. So what's so good about that? The 2 fruits before this one each had the ability to create instant death in one circumstance and the destruction of the world in the other. Well, so does this fruit. In fact, it could probably do both. The user of the Goro no Mi can conjure lightning strikes powerful enough to take out most individual fighters in a single strike, as well as destroy entire islands. It might not be on the same scale of destruction as the Goro no Mi, but it comes with the control factor. The voltage and point of impact are entirely controllable by the user of this fruit. No collateral damage. He can deal as much damage to whatever person or point is intended. Furthermore, becoming lightning allows the user to travel at lightning speed, essentially teleporting wherever the user desires. So what was the main drawback of this fruit in the series? Well, it turns out that lightning doesn't work so well on people made entirely out of rubber. Luffy was a natural counter to the power, and even then he still struggled to win in the end. But mostly the drawback of this fruit was because it was being used by a bit of a spoiled prick. NL is cool and all, but he relied entirely on his fruit, neglecting to train himself in other areas. If this fruit was in the hands of any of the previous users on this list, it would be devastating. So let's recap. Extraordinarily world-ending destructive capabilities, one-hit KOs on most opponents, and teleportation powers. Pretty damn good. It's for this reason that this devil fruit is considered one of the invincible class, and is the only devil fruit in the series so far to be stated as such. So by the criteria on this list, the Goro no Mi lands swiftly at the number 1 spot. And that about does it for the top 5 best devil fruits. Feel free to vigorously disagree with my list and suggest your own devil fruits in the comments below. And I'll see you next time for another One Piece Top 5.